When you see the name of where we are heading for this adventure, how would you pronounce it? Some might say Canyon de Chelly, as I did, but that is not correct. The correct pronunciation is Canyon de Chelly. On this adventure, we are headed from our home in Pahrump to Chinle, Arizona, the gateway to Canyon de Chelly National Monument. It is over a 7-hour drive.
There's Lake Mead.
Yep. Soon we will be in Arizona.
Sherry looked on the map to figure out how high it is, and she found out it's
12,643 feet.
Which one is Humphreys? Probably the one in the back?
I would assume so. But Humphreys Peak is the highest peak in Arizona.
And there's a trail going all the way to the top of it. It looks kind of cold up there today.
Yep. As we neared our hotel, we passed several feral horses. You might wonder exactly where Canyon de Chelly National Monument is located. It is located in northeastern Arizona, approximately 100 miles from the Four Corners, where Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah meet. It is a unique national monument because it's entirely on Navajo lands. Today, some 80 families live in the canyon where they farm and raise animals, particularly in the summer. One lady, however, lives there year-round. Yes, there are ruins here too, but today, people still live here as they have for approximately 5,000 years. To protect the privacy of the ruins and the indigenous people, visitors are not permitted to explore the canyon without a Navajo guide. On our first day, we will drive the 2 rim roads and stop at various overlooks to look down into the canyon. Our first stop is at the Visitor Center with its crib-style Hogan.
So there's just 3 overlooks on the north side?
Yeah, so you have the 3 viewpoints here. It'll take about an hour and a half to complete, and then the south rim will take at least 2 hours.
2 hours,
depending how much time you're visiting at each overlook.
That trail is closed, huh?
Yeah, that's the public trail that is closed.
Okay.
We close the visitor center at 4:30.
Wow.
So this structure is called a Hogan. In Navajo we call it Hawan, meaning home. This is a female Hogan. It is used to raise a family in. It is also used for ceremonial purposes. As you see, it is decorated from the Park Service staff. They brought an item from their own home that remembered their grandparents or their mother. But the Hogan always facing east, where the sun would rise to bring in a new day. It is round structure, symbolizing the earth, the moon, the sun. There's a hole on top. We never separate Mother Earth and Father Sky. So it also, the air flows through here as well.
I bet they didn't have a stove like this.
They didn't have a stove, so it's more
but
of
they just had a little fire pit,
yeah,
probably.
Fire pit, so it can be 6, 8, or 10-sided Hogan, depending on the size of the home. So most of the work was outside, tending to their farm, tending to their livestock.
So what do we have here? Oh, that's really pretty. I just love those trees down there. Looks like somebody's ranch way over there. I'd like to live down there.
We continued on to Mummy Cave Overlook with its great views both up and down the canyon. This ruin is the largest in the canyon with over 80 rooms and 3 kivas. Mummy Cave was named because of the 2 mummies that were discovered here by an archaeological expedition in 1882.
There's some ruins over here.
Oh, neat.
You can almost climb down to those.
There's something clear over there.
Way over there, I see it.
Not far away from Mummy Cave Ruins is Massacre Cave Ruins. It was here in 1805 that over 100 Navajos were killed in a battle between the Navajo people and Spanish soldiers.
Looks like that's the end of the road.
After checking out the North Rim Drive in the morning, we then checked out the South Rim Drive in the afternoon. Our first stop on the South Rim was Tunnel Overlook, where a short, narrow canyon fed into Chinle Wash. This wash was formed by the streams that cut through the canyons of the monument. After doing a short hike to a viewpoint, we returned to the parking lot where we bought a copper and sterling bracelet. Canyon de Chelly, storyteller from the Navajo who made it, Andrew Henry. His picture and his storyteller bracelet were featured inside the front cover of Arizona Highways, April 2006, and his photo was in a Canyon de Chelly book and on a U.S. postage stamp. Our next stop was Tesegi Overlook. Tesegi is a Navajo word meaning rock canyon, and that's just what you'll see when you gaze down from the viewpoint.
I want to buy some land down there. It's got a river, trees, beautiful.
We continued our drive to Junction Overlook. From here, we looked down into the canyon at the confluence of Canyon del Muerto and Canyon de Chelly. Nearby was Dog Rock as well. Our next stop was Sliding House Overlook. We could not locate the ruins here, which were said to have had 30 to 50 rooms. The sliding house was built on a narrow ledge and gave the appearance of sliding into the canyon. Spider Rock Overlook was our last stop on the South Rim Drive. A short hike took us to several different vantage points. According to Navajo legend, Spider Grandmother resides on the larger of the 2 spires, and her helpers, the crowd, live on the shorter of the 2 that is called Speaking Rock.
So this is it. This is a spider rock.
To go down into the canyon and see its incredible beauty closer up, we booked a 5-hour private Jeep tour with Canyon de Chelly Beauty Way Jeep Tours. TJ Hunter, who has spent much of his life in the canyon, was our Navajo guide.
I have over 800 moms and dads, over 800 brothers and sisters, aunties, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, just because I know my clan. So... Chinle is a Navajo word, pronounced Chinle. So Chinle means where water's exiting, where water's coming out. So this is the entrance of the canyon where water comes out of the canyon. So this is where they call it Chinle. The town went down further, people just pronounce it Chinle now. So very thirsty trees, good sign of water source. So wherever you see a cottonwood tree, there's definitely water.
What kind of trees are they?
Cottonwood?
Cottonwood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So during the summertime, it's really lush and green in here, even though there's no water flowing through it. Pictographs are drawn by natural paint color. The white color you see might be coming from a white clay that you can find in the canyon, maybe from white corn that was just ground out to powder, possibly from plants. That's where the white color might be coming from. Most of the drawings that you see in there were put there by Anasazi. It might be a little muddy, just be careful.
Yeah.
Permanently, so they're called petroglyph drawings. The first that were pictographs, painting. Petroglyph rock is what people call this. The drawings I'll be talking about were put there by some tribes that came and went throughout the canyon at one time. All the circle drawings in the middle were put there by Hopi Indians. To the right, there's 2 horse drawings, and to the left over there, there's 2 more horse drawings. The horses were put there by Navajo. Above the Hopi and Navajo drawings, you can see like a thick horizontal line cutting across the canyon wall.
Yeah.
Right above that line, there's some faint drawings up there that are very faint, starting to erode away, put there by Anasazi.
So they're going after a deer?
Yeah, they're chasing a deer, and down below to the right, there's a dog. This is called an Atlatl. This is a weapon. This is an extra leverage to throw a spear. This weapon outdates the bow and arrow thousands of years, and it was the deadliest weapon on Earth 30,000 years before the bow and arrows invented. It was this weapon. It was used by a lot of different Native American tribes, so it's different styles of lengths of the throwing sticks. Lengths of some arrows might be almost 8 feet, 9 feet long, depending on what tribe is using it and maybe what they're using it to hunt with. Navajo and Anasazi living in here, this was their weapon before the bow and arrow, was this weapon. Used this to shoot the arrows with it. In the V shape here, the arrow would lay down in here. At the end, there's a sharp point, and on top of the arrows, there's some holes on top of the arrows. So once I lay it down, I'll line it up with the sharp point, and to shoot it, you will hold this tight, you pinch your arrow. The timing and technique of the arc and the distance is letting go of the arrow at the right time. It's like throwing a football overhead.
Are you shooting it?
Yeah. So anywhere behind your head on back is when you let go of your arrow. So once you let go of your arrow, is when you will pull this one down. So that's where your extra leverage and arm length will come and play. Just the timing. The tips will come separately. There's a hole in here, more likely an inch deep of a hole. Another inch of a stick will have the arrowhead connected with the stick, so it will insert in and out. And I left the tips at the house and it's breaking too, so full of dirt. But we insert in and out, and if you happen to hit the animal and it bounces off, what might bounce off might be just the shaft. The point will still be lodged into the animal, so you can continue using your shafts. Just keep replacing your tips.
Do you put poison on the tips?
Maybe fighting with enemies, but not for your food.
Not for, yeah.
This is a cottonwood root. These are willow trees, turkey feathers, artificial sinew for the wrappings. The extra wood I'll be using would be greasewood and obsidian or flint arrowheads is what I'll put on there. So just to show you how it would work, I'm gonna shoot it that way, and I'm try to hit a target I've been trying to hit. So in the distance over there, there's a hill, a sand hill, a plain sand hill with no vegetation on it.
Yeah.
Right underneath it to the right, there's like a dark black bush. That yucca plant. That yucca plant to be my target. I let go too early.
You're close.
Yeah, those things go a long way.
I let go early because it kind of went, I had an arc way up there. If I let go too late, it kind of goes to the ground, so I have to let go just right at the time it just right. Same spot as the other one.
He's got one more time here.
Oh, same spot again.
Pretty good.
Do you have to take into account the wind?
The wind, oh yeah, those two, and then if I had the tips on there, the arrowhead, to have a little more weight, a little more balance, and then go probably further. So what I did as a demonstration, I'm sure when they're hunting, they wouldn't have killed the animal with the distance I did. They'll be more closer to the animal, 30, 50 yards when you're more accurate. So Atlatl or Atlatl, extra leverage to throw a spear. This weapon was used by cavemen to kill woolly mammoths with it. It's how far this weapon goes back.
Wow.
Take a picture of what you were aiming at and your arrows.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I had the range down.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know what he was aiming at from way back there.
It's pretty far distance. I grouped them kind of good enough.
Near the target area are narrow leaf yucca. The leaves of the narrow leaf yucca are green and very fibrous with a sharp point at the end, which can be used as primitive needle and thread or as a fish hook. The leaves can also be used to make very strong primitive cordage, baskets, or even sandals. The roots can be used to make soap. While many yucca roots are edible, the narrow leaves yucca roots are not. However, the base of the plant can be roasted and eaten. The fresh flowers can be eaten raw in salads or roasted and dried for winter. It is best to get them before they're fully open. If they are fruit-bearing, you can cook the fruit when it reaches its midlife. You do not want to wait too long, as the fruit seeds are poisonous.
So first room was built and occupied by Anasazi. They're also known as cliff dwellings. The structure that you see right in the middle with the black hole at the bottom, that structure is built circular compared to the left and right square rooms. So that one's called a Kiva. Kivas are meant for ceremonies. Kivas belong to the men. The square rooms that are left and right might have belonged to females. One Kiva that was up there might have also represented one clan that lived up there at one time also. So there's that one Kiva in the middle that I'm talking about. Just to the right side of it, that's actually another Kiva, but the front side collapsed. Part of the half of a back of a circle is what you can see. So two Kivas were up there. The square rooms right now looks like 5, 6 of them. Some believe the ledge to the left was full of rooms. Some structures might have been 2 stories. So some believe maybe 18 to 20 structures up there at one time, more or less. The Kiva in the middle, the ledge that it sits on, that ledge stretches about 65 feet in width. So it does go further deeper into the back. So behind the Kiva to the right on the overhang, some black staining is smoke stains. A fire pit burning right there most of the time. The ledge that they're all built on, if you follow the ledge to the left, past the last structure to the left, keep going to the left all the way down to the very end, close to the end of the ledge, there's one square one sitting by itself separately. Blends in really good. Might have been used as a storage room or possibly a cistern. Junction ruins built by Anasazi again. The structure in the middle looks like it has a window. That might have been a doorway. The children were up there also. It might have kept them from running around, running at the door, running off the cliff. Safety reasons, they might have moved the door up higher. So maybe a doorway or maybe still used as a window. To the right of the middle structure is the backside of a Kiva. One Kiva was built up there. The square rooms right now looks like 2 to 3, but some people maybe say 5 to 6. Hard to say, more or less. There's a structure way to the left in the corner by itself, and that one is actually built with no roof. It's built up to the overhang. The only opening is that little square opening, so maybe a storage room or grading room where they kept their food, water separate from where they slept and stayed at. Maybe just to keep rodents from going into where they slept, or storage was cooler, dry right there for the summertime. For this site, they would use footholds and handles to get up to this site here. We are at the junction where the canyon splits into two. So the canyon to the right is Canyon de Chelly, the canyon to the left, Canyon del Muerto. And then I hope this cold didn't freeze those bloom trees. Usually happens when they start blooming, they get a light frost like this. Hopefully it wasn't too cold to freeze them. So she has apricot trees right there, peach trees.
And she lives there by herself?
Yeah. Yep. I think this last one is a stallion. These other ones are his horses. This one right here is eating on the ground. That one's pregnant. I don't know if the gray one in the back is pregnant too. Right end of the zigzag, the first person right there standing is just the outline of a figure. The people behind are solid figures, all solid white figures. So some people say if it's the lightning wave ceremony, the first person, just the outline, might be the medicine man, just his body in a trance, is why his body's just outlined. The people behind him, solid figures, might be people watching or possibly participating in the ceremony. Or it might be the canyon, how the zigzag's really thick in the middle and on the left and right of the zigzag is really thin. So, and
there's some over on the right.
Yeah, those are turkeys. Were really long legs, but they call them totem birds. They're sticks, but at the end of one of the tip of the sticks, they're carved into turkey heads, decorated with turkey feathers, becomes like a mantle or like a shaft held in ceremonies. That's probably why they have really long legs to them. They call it round corner room because it's built of 4 corners, but the front left corner is rounded off. And that's the only corner of that structure that's rounded off, and that's the only structure in the canyon that has a corner that's rounded off. So it might be some of importance just for having the front left corner rounded off for some reason. So maybe they thought for marking out information there, maybe a medicine man lived there, maybe there was water source there, or it was just meant to make the air go through the structure like a ventilation system, as maybe one side was rounded off. There is a pictograph to the right of it and a pictograph to the left of it. The pictograph that's to the left of it, underneath those drawings, there's 2 foundations that were there at one point. So living quarters and storage rooms, just like all the other places. And most of the structures I see have no roofs to them. I don't know if they were purposely built with no roof. The overhang might have acted like the roof, or the roof stretched up to the overhang, 2-story structures, or the roof just collapsed and we can't see what's inside of it from the distance that we viewed them at. Stop finally. That was a good one.
That was a good one, yeah.
It was like all over the place. Woo!
Very good. And the ruins are echo ruins.
Yeah,
up
echo
there.
ruins for that reason. So.
White House Ruins is the second largest ruin site in the canyon. It has approximately 80 rooms. These buildings were used for ceremonial purposes and were inhabited between 1040 and 1275. Notice the black streaks on the sandstone walls above the White House ruins. These streaks, known as desert varnish, are formed by seeping water, which reacts with iron in the sandstone. Iron is what gives the walls their reddish hue. To create the canyon's many petroglyphs, ancestral Puebloan artists would chip away at the desert varnish. Later, the Navajo used paints to create pictographs of animals and historical events.
There might have been maybe 12 to 18 structures here at one time, again more or less, starting off from the one that you see right here in front of us, going to the left all the way to that cave, past the cave, kept going to the left around the corner to that side of the canyon wall is how far it stretched. Some might have been 2 stories, and one kiva might have been possibly located here also.
Are there any structures over there?
Just the little foundations,
Mm-hmm.
little like wall structures. And you can see like half of the back of a circle, so the kiva was probably on that side.
And there's one up there with...
Yeah, I see the whole the structure up there.
Remember the echo on that side? It bounced around. This one kind of carries up and down. Listen to this one now. Woo! See,
I heard it, yeah.
The other one went like this, the other one just bounced around. But the last structure you see right here in front of us, there's a hole on the side of the wall. That hole might have been used for protective reasons, a lookout point, or maybe a log went through there to make the foundation of a 2-story, or maybe the foundation of a roof. To the left of that, there's some built underneath the overhang. The one in the back is built up to the overhang. If they're built to the overhang with no roof, more of a storage room is probably what they were built and used for right in the area. Just to the left of that, there's a pile of boulders. Behind the boulders, there's a ruin built behind the boulders. The boulders are used for protective reasons from the weather and the wind and the rain. Just to the left of that, there's another pile of boulders. Behind those boulders on the wall, there's like 4 to 5 little white dots in a row, which are pictographs of turkeys that are walking in a row. And to the left of that, before you enter the cave, some more turkey drawings again. It's just that present day, all the turkey drawings, most of them don't have any heads to them. They might have used a certain color for the head. The color they used for the head might have wore off easier than solid white body color. So present day, most turkey drawings have no heads to them.
Headless.
And they're drawn at all the sites in the cave. Might have to do because NSIs eat domesticated turkeys. They never really use it like a food source. So this is drawn in charcoal. All the people and horses are drawn in charcoal. And the circles are natural paint color pictographs. The circles are the Ute shields that they're holding. So possibly around 1840 to 1845 is when it might have happened. Utes became friends and allies to Spaniards that entered the area. They would steal Navajo women and children for slavery or trading for cattle or metal cooking ware. So Utes came to this canyon for that purpose. Navajos that were in here found out about the raiding, and they thought of a plan, almost in a way like an ambush plan. So over here to the right side of us, there's a side canyon called Spiral Canyon. It's about 1/4 of a mile long. At the end of that canyon, there's a trail that will take you to the top. So they put the Navajo warriors and boys in the canyon, back of the trail, hiding behind boulders. The women, children, the elderly, they might have went up further up the canyon or went up to the top of the canyon across from us, because there is another trail across from us that will take you to the top. So the way that we came around the corner, they put 2 boys on horses sitting there. So when the Utes saw those 2 boys, they went to go chase them. The 2 boys took off into this boxing corner canyon, taking the Utes in, and all the warriors are hiding back there, just out shooting their guns, bows and arrows and knives, possibly killing all the Utes inside that boxing corner canyon. So that fight that happened in there between Utes and Navajos, this drawing describes what happened. They call it Ute Panel Raid. With really big hands, so they're called big hand ruins for that reason. The Big, above the big boulder against
Yeah,
the wall.
I see the big boulder and I see the ruin. Okay.
Halfway, right? The skinny crack starts about halfway down the canyon wall. And where the crack starts at the very top, just to the left side of it, kind of to the left, there's a dark crack going down at an angle to the left.
Okay.
Just to the left of that one, there's two varnish markings. And
Yeah.
that crack right in between those two varnish markings and that crack going down, right in the middle, there's a log ladder right there. You probably can see with the binoculars more easier. Summer vacation, my auntie said okay. So he came down, camped out, then he left. The next year came, he asked the same thing for the summer. And then the next year came, the next year, 25 years after 1980, 25 years straight, he made a summer vacation at our land in our canyon. He became our family friend. He lived in Connecticut. He worked at the University of Connecticut as a professor of anthropology. And he loved photography too, so ever since he came down, all he did has a camera in his hand, just taking photographs of all the stuff we're doing. We took him to all the ruin sites and all that. And I guess a few years ago, him and my auntie ended up making a book of our family using all those photographs. And he called it Black Rock Canyon, a Diné family portrait. Has a lot of old photos in there, before I was born, after I was born, when my grandma and grandpa lived in the canyon.
Wow.
All the stuff that we just usually do in the canyon, he documented it. So he gave us all a copy of the book, and then he retired from the University of Connecticut and he moved to California. He's living down there now. He still visits our family every chance he gets, 2 years, 3 years, 5, 6 years apart. He still comes to visit our family. Still wants to camp out at the land in the canyon, so really nice that we got to meet somebody that can do that for us.
Yeah.
Really nice. And then this one, they're just the ruin sites that you just noticed, all the ruins that are left behind, Navajo and Anasazi. It's called the standing cow ruins. So, Spaniards are the one that introduced cattle to Navajo, and it became very important to them. So that's why it's drawn up there. There's other pictographs to the right of it. The flute players, three flute players in a row are walking, and the circle might represent half of the eclipse, possibly. One of the guides that work for this company, he's older than me. He said all the guides that work for the company, we have land in the canyon, and we stayed part of our life in the canyon. One of the other guys, he stayed in that house right there with his grandma.
That house right there?
Yeah, he said it was a foundation of a circle one, so he said they built it into a storage room. Then after the storage room, he said they just put in a window and a door and a wood stove in there. For this place, when they did the excavating here, there was about almost 5 to 6 kivas here. One kiva, they found nothing but textile weaving tools in one kiva. Another kiva, they found a couple pairs of sandals that were made out of yucca plant. Another kiva, they found nothing but bundles of vegetation. So they believe this was a trading spot. White House might have been used for ceremonial reasons. Within a short radius of this place, there's over 3 dozen plants they can use for medicinal purposes, and they are edible too also. So there's structures that are built 2-story, 3-story, 4-story. There's a 4-story lookout watchout tower is what that was used for. Just like the White House, inside the room walls were plastered with white clay, just reflecting light into rooms, bringing light to heat, some light and heat to structures that couldn't get any light at all. So more of a Kienta masonry was how this was used, for being a little adobe on the outside of the structures. There's a pictograph up there that looks like a swastika, but the swastika is drawn the opposite, and that was not completed at the bottom. That's the symbol for good luck, or for trading, is what that represents. They call this Antelope House because of the drawings right up there. Colorful ones, bright ones. You see them?
Yeah.
Keep going down to the left along the ledge.
And over here, sort of a circle there.
Those are a mixture of Anasazi drawings and Navajo drawings. The white ones are bighorn sheep, those are Anasazi. The colored ones, orangish red ones, those are pronghorn sheep or antelope, but those are drawn there by Navajo. A Navajo by the name of Little Sheep put some of those drawings up there around the 1800s.
Let's leave the past behind. Walk with me down.
What was it again? I see where the trees are.
The three little green trees. The one in the middle, behind it, going up the wall.
No, so off to the right there.
More to the right, more to the right, more to the right, more to the right. Those three right there.
Right
the
there.
Green tree in the middle, behind it, going up the wall.
Oh, okay.
Those little dots.
And it goes way up to the top of it.
Okay.
Goes all the way up that way.
Let's make miracles.